Hi, this is Greg over at DIY RV and Home Camper's Life in the trailer, and we are doing some modifications to our refrigerator. We want to put a whiteboard up here on the freezer section, and we picked up one that had like a cling back that just kind of stuck to any surface. Well, it didn't stick to this surface, and it actually left a stain. So while we were over at Walmart one day, we ran across this whiteboard that also was a magnetic back, so that was kind of a plus too, because we want to put some magnets on our refrigerator. And so we picked that up, and so today we're going to be removing this insert and putting the whiteboard in place. Now let's go ahead and remove the insert. Oh, also, by the way, one thing I did notice, and that is every now and then I would see a gap in the paneling between the trim and the paneling as it slid back and forth. So I want to try to remove or eliminate that also. So before we do pull it off, I'm going to take a pencil. I've got this pressed all the way to one side. I'm just going to make a little mark. Pull the panel back, and then we're going to make another mark, and that'll tell me how much extra that I want to make the new panel. So we've got that. Now let's go ahead and remove it. To remove this, and this is on the Norcold refrigerator, this side piece right here is just held in by a piece down the center that goes into this channel right here. So now with the end cap off, we can go ahead and pull the insert out. And let's take a look. Now this insert is about 3/16 of an inch thick. So we need something that's about 3/16 of an inch thick up to about 1/4 inch, which is what the channel that this slides into is on width. So let's go ahead and shut the freezer so we don't lose any of that coolness that's in there. And let's go out and let's size our whiteboard and get it cut. Alright, so here's that paneling that we've taken out. Here's the whiteboard. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than paneling, so we're going to go ahead and disassemble the frame off this. We'll use the paneling, we'll mark the size, plus that little extra that we needed so that we fill that whole spot. So tools that we're going to be using today, of course, pencil, got tape, some cutters, needle nose, small screwdriver, some painter's tape. Now I'll explain to you why I've got a wood plane in a second. Got a ruler, got the jigsaw. So now let's go ahead and take this apart. Now with this particular whiteboard, the frame is snapped in place and also has some staples on the back. The way I removed the staples was I just went ahead and used a small screwdriver and kind of pried on them to get a little bit of a gap. You can even use a pair of needle nose pliers. And then I just kind of went in underneath, snipped the frame, because we're not going to keep the frame. And then I'll come back and pull the staple. Once I get all the staples out, we'll come back. So now that I've got all the staples removed from the back side of the frame, on this one I could just take that small screwdriver that I had and press it into where the clip is that holds the frame and pry it. And there we go. The frame is removed. Whoops. So there's a little lever or catch. Well, I did find that little clip, and that's just the clip that allowed you to hang this up with nails or whatever. We just want to make sure that we keep this area clean because we are dispersed camping right now. So we've got our part. Now let me explain to you a little bit. This board is actually 3/8 of an inch thick, and remember I said that that channel was 1/4 inch thick, so this isn't going to fit into that channel right as it is. So that's where my little wood plane is going to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and just be able to plane this down. And I started a little bit on this one edge right here to shape it down, and I know it's going to work. So I'm going to size it first, then I'll work on planing it down, because I got to plane the whole thing down a little bit. So let's grab our board, lay it down, and our height is fine. It's just that width that we wanted to adjust. So now I can just take that my pencil and scribe the line. And looking at, let me bring this around. Right here are those pencil lines that I made inside when we still had this in the door, showing how much narrower this is than the width of the track itself. So I can add at least, looks like almost a 1/4 inch without having any problems. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little extra to the width, and then I'll mark a line down so I can cut it. So now I'm just evening it up on the one edge. I'm going to come over and let's take the tape measure and see. Yep, it's 1/4 inch. So actually what we can do is say 21.5 inches is how wide we're going to make it. 21.5. Take the ruler. Now time to cut. This is actually a piece of metal. So we're going to have to use a metal blade. And in my jigsaw blades that I've got, I have some fine tooth ones. So let me grab one out. The finest one I have, which looks like it's going to be, oh, it just says bimetal, doesn't even tell me how many teeth per inch. Put that into our jigsaw. Make sure on the Ryobi that we do not have the orbital mode set. We want it just straight up and down. We don't want it doing a hard dig into it. Otherwise we could possibly damage the whiteboard itself. Now before I really get too crazy on cutting, I'm actually going to do just off to the side a little cut. I want to see how it cuts. I do have a variable adjustment up on top so I can adjust the speed if I need. Try to get it set to where when we're cutting, it's going to give me as smooth as a possible cut or edge on the one side. So here we go. Come back in, let me bring it in close. And we've got a real nice cut. It's not jagged or anything like that, so I think we're golden. We're ready to go ahead and cut this. Now I'm left-handed, so this is how I'm going to work. Take your time, don't force it. Now we did have a slight bit of blowout right down here on the bottom, so we can probably glue that back in, but we have to remember that, and that's just as it was getting to that towards that end, we can see that it did gouge just a little bit. But nice thing is that's going to be covered by the insert on the door. I'm going to try this on this one. I'm going to come in, I'm going to cut from this on this side to start with, then I'm going to go around and start cutting the opposite direction. Hopefully by doing that it won't catch right on the corner and rip it out like it did. There we go. So that edge, perfect. All right, time to plane it down. Show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the video and come back when I get it done. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm just going to take this and just and as you can see, I'm starting to whittle it down a little bit. It's going to take me a little bit, but that's how I'm going to do it today. Alright, I've got it thinned down, and of course if you can find one that's got thinner material, work better for you, about 3/16 or less, but I use the plane. And for the ones that are going to yell about the plane, it's a plane that I've done so many things wrong with, and it's still working, so don't worry about it. I should have put something on the table when I was working on it, something soft. I did get a couple scratches in it. Again, it'll work for us. But let's go ahead and put this in and see how it comes out. So I've got it set there, and now I'm going to go ahead and insert it a little stiff. We're going to get to the end right over here, and I'm going to make sure that it's all the way in the channel back there. Give it a couple little love taps. Now we take this channel, and if you notice, there's a thick side and a thin side, or a wide and narrow. The narrow goes on the paneling side, and the wide goes towards the inside of the freezer. So go ahead and set it in place, start tapping it down. It's all the way in. We've got it completely in. It's not going to move around. There we are. So again, yes, I did get a couple little scratches. I did have to plane mine down. If you find one that's the right size, you don't have to do that. Take your time, have fun. Hope this inspires you guys to do some projects like this. Until the next video, happy camping.